Welcome back to Adventures with Bam. I'm Brent Billings.
And I'm Maggie Billings.
And this episode brings us to Post Falls, Idaho for a family staycation.
Yes, your top vacation destination, Post Falls, Idaho. Very convenient for us, I will say.
My bio mom and her husband were joining us. They flew up from Wichita, Kansas. And my sister and her family live in Post Falls, and we're only an hour and a half south. So, I don't know, Post Falls just worked.
You're probably going to have to do an episode on your adoption story. I don't think you've done that yet.
Yeah, we haven't done a full episode on that for sure. I think we've alluded to this, or maybe more than alluded, but I don't know. I feel like it's come up a couple of times, perhaps. But yeah, at some point. Well, I'll put it on the ideas list.
Indeed.
Maybe it'll be the next episode.
Perhaps. Maybe we'll just back to back. We'll just record it tonight as soon as we're done with this.
Well, we don't have time for that, but you need your beauty sleep or something.
I need my homeschool sleep.
Homeschool sleep, that's right. So they came up from Wichita, and they specifically wanted to rent a house that had enough space for all of us to stay together in the same house, which was a great idea, because that led to night after night of catchphrase. And we just played into the wee hours.
It was great.
It was great.
We don't play a lot of games at our house, partially because, I don't know, well,
as listeners of episode 19 know you do not enjoy a game.
I enjoy games. If you've listened to that episode, you know it's
board games and card games.
Board games and card games, strategy games. Catchphrase is not a strategy. It's not rules heavy. It's quick. It's chippy.
We had a lot of massaging the rules as we went along.
Yeah.
We had the general philosophy that you're not allowed to do like charades. You can't say the words that are in the clue. Many of these things happen to varying degrees during the game. You can't say the
first letter is the third letter of the alphabet.
That one was contentious. But it was great. You know, when you got vibing with a teammate, it was a lot of fun.
In the zone. It was great. It was funny to see, because there were a couple times that the kids, your sister's kids, would jump in and play for a little bit, and just, I think, haven't been alive long enough to know what a lot of it was. So I think my favorite part was that Allie was, the clues. She's like, okay, this is a type of wood. So we're naming like all types of, oak, cedar, like just going through all of it. And somehow we landed at lumberjack, and we were like, that's not a type of wood. And she's like, what? And we're like, that's a profession. She's like, what? So there are these poor kids. So there are a few times that we had to be like, no, that's not what that is. So a very educational game. If you have kids that are, not adults yet, we suggest catchphrase for education.
At least they had tree, and it wasn't they were thinking it was like a cheese or something.
Lumberjack. Yeah, that's true. Yeah. Definitely in the right realm. Yeah, Morley kids are great. We love them.
Yeah, of course we do.
Smart and brilliant and fun to hang out with all weekend.
I mean, we don't talk about lumberjacks. It's not a common profession anymore.
It's true, yeah. It doesn't come up as often in North Idaho as you might expect.
If I can think about this, though, I hope at some point somebody asks me what my favorite cheese is someday, and I have the presence of mind to respond with lumberjack.
Lumberjack. It's like pepper jack, but it has chunks of wood in it.
Well, let's see. What else did we do? We had a breakfast at Le Peep, the tragically French-themed sort of cafe in Coeur d'Alene.
I was just not commiserating. I was sulking about, I feel like the fastest way in Idaho. I'm sure there are parts of the country where French is spoken a bit more regularly. I'm sure in parts of Louisiana, this is less of an issue, but in this area, the fastest way to make sure that people cannot sufficiently pronounce or remember the name of your business is to put some French in it.
Or spell it correctly in a Google search, as you said.
And exactly. Like, it's going to be harder if you put, and this is just Le Peep, L-E space P-E-E-P, like a little chicken peep. I think, right?
Yeah, no, I mean, yeah,
I think that's what it's supposed to be. I'm not sure why. I'm not sure where the name came from.
I assume chickens, eggs, breakfast.
Yeah, yeah. But like, why le? So my thing is,
peep is not a French word.
Quoi? So yeah, because French is not spoken here, the immediate confusion is le or la, and I think a lot of people, when they go, oh, it's one of those French ones, they assume la. We have the same issue in Moscow. We have a little adorable, French cafe attached to a flower shop, and the cafe is Le Petit Café Fleuri, which means the little floral cafe, little flowery cafe. Well, because people don't speak French, and that's fine. Like, you don't have to. I'm not judging anyone for not speaking French.
Which people might you be referring to?
I am not.
Any of our listeners, perhaps?
If you identify, if you hear yourself in this teaching, then that's just the Spirit speaking to you. I'm sure conversations will come after this. It's le petit, because in these romantic languages, everything is masculine or feminine, and cafe is masculine, so it's le petit. But often what I hear people say is they call it la petite. That would be, la petite cafe Fleury. The problem is cafe is masculine, it's not feminine. So because it's masculine, you use le, which is the masculine article, and petite instead of petite. Like, basically the last T is silent in the masculine version. And then le peep, there's no rhyme or reason. This is the longest aside ever.
I'm trying to think about how to tie this back into the episode, and I'm thinking,
I don't think it can be done.
I would love to hear you play catchphrase in French.
Oh, I could try. It'd be pretty. Although I will say there was a moment when someone said, I don't remember what the word was, but the clue was like chicken. It's another way of saying chicken. And I kept thinking like poulet, like, oh no. And I was like, I can't say that out loud. It sounds too pretentious to be like, no, I was thinking about the word in French. Like, oh, I can't think of the word in English. What's the, like, it just sounds.
Did you end up getting it?
Somebody did. I don't remember if it was me or someone else, but
I remember the one where I felt most in trouble, where Jeff was giving the clue, and he started off, okay, this is a singer from the 70s. And I just immediately said out loud, oh no. And then he went on to describe how the song is titled or is about somebody named Maggie.
Oh, yeah.
And I was like, yeah, that doesn't help. Sorry. And the answer was Rod Stewart.
Yeah, Rod Stewart.
Which I
think I got an extra point for getting that because I was on a different team.
I'm assuming you've had me listen to that song at some point.
Oh, you've heard it. It's just Maggie May by Rod Stewart.
Oh, yeah. Oh, of course.
Now I know. It's the Wake Up Maggie, that one.
I don't think I know it.
I don't see how that's possible.
I'm not doubting that I've heard it at some point.
Man.
I just do not know it. It is not in any even remotely accessible part of my brain.
Isn't it your job when you marry someone to know every song that has their name in it? I thought that came with the package.
I mean, do you know any songs with Brent in it?
No. I don't think they exist.
Wow. I think I'm only obligated to know as many songs about Maggie as you know songs about Brent.
I think you're obligated to know as many as there are. And I think I do know as many as there are Brent songs, and there are none. But I make songs up for you.
I'm going to have to do some research, I guess.
Yeah, do a little recon. Wow, this is such an aside. I don't know how you're going to tie this into the episode.
It's just everything revolves around catchphrase.
Everything.
I tell you what, we had some bonkers ways of passing the thing around. At one point we're like, okay, we're gonna have the two guys against the three girls, and like we were just, I don't know, we're doing this crazy zigzag passing thing because everybody wanted to like take a turn without getting skipped.
Yeah, you gotta like pass it to the next team as soon as you get the word. You don't want the buzzer to go off when you're holding it.
It was madness.
We should probably just title this episode Catchphrase.
Family catchphrase. Yeah. Forget the staycation.
Yeah. It's all about the catchphrase.
Were we staying anywhere? Who knows? Doesn't matter.
Doesn't matter. We just played Catchphrase the whole time. It was great.
One of the best features about the house that we stayed at is that it had a tree house.
It had a tree house.
And the boys were loving it.
Oh my gosh. It was a perfect little setup for them. Yeah, great Airbnb for kids, definitely. Lots of space for them to run around and play. And yeah, it was really good.
Big old stump in the yard that Darius tripped over and got a gigantic wound on his leg. So that was nice.
I mean, he would do well to learn to look forward when he's walking forward. We've had this conversation lots of times.
But also, like, he was just remarkably calm about it. He was just like, I think I got an owie on my leg. And he sits down. He was looking at it, and it's like, it looks pretty bad. Like, it's pretty big. There's a lot of blood. He's like, I think it's starting to bubble. And he was so matter of fact about it. I was like, who are you?
He's really grown in this area in the last year. Yeah. I mean, do you remember times last summer we were traveling and he felt, and it was like an hour of sobbing and just trying to get him to calm down. He has really, really grown in this area.
Yeah. That's great.
Pretty wild.
But also, even the treehouse, sorry.
Oh, similarly, since we're talking about Darius bleeding.
Oh, yes. He lost a tooth while we were
lost a tooth. Not his first tooth.
Yeah.
But it was a tooth nonetheless. And great that Jeff and Julia got to be there for it. You know, they don't get to be there for a lot of his milestones, living in Kansas and things. So the fact that he lost a tooth at the dinner table.
Yeah, we're all sitting around. He's eating out of the side of his mouth. And everyone's like, come on, let me pull it. No, let me pull it. Let Uncle Travis pull it. Let somebody pull it.
Yeah, it's so loose. He's just wobbling around in there.
I put almost no effort into taking it out. He finally agreed to let me pull it out. So, and then we threw it away.
Yeah, teeth are so gross. I cannot. I want to be, in every other way, I feel like I'm very sentimental. Teeth, I cannot keep teeth. They make me feel sick every time. They're fine in someone's mouth, but as soon as they come out of a mouth, I can't even talk about it without wanting to, without feeling a little nauseous.
Well, let me pivot back to the treehouse then.
Okay, yeah, treehouse.
The treehouse had a spiral staircase leading up to it. Like a very big treehouse, like a luxury treehouse. I mean, not too
luxury.
Crazy. I don't know. It was probably, 7 or 8 feet by 4 or 5 feet. Not huge.
Tall
obviously.
enough for an adult to stand in, right?
Like big as far as tree houses go, as far as tree houses I've ever seen. It was substantial. Had a bunch of toys in it and stuff. But the spiral staircase, the first time, like, the boys did not want to have anything to do with this thing. They wanted to be carried up and down. And I think it was like later. Well, we got there in the evening. But I think it was the next day that they were just like totally comfortable and just like flying up and down it on their own. So
yeah, it was great.
Boys are getting brave.
I know.
We went swimming down by the river at one point.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, not that much swimming.
When you say we.
Yeah, I forgot my swimsuit, so that didn't happen.
I don't know that you would have swam anyway, though.
Did you swim?
Yeah, I did swim.
You got in the water, but did you swim?
Yes, I did. You were there. Okay, Why are you doubting me? I swim.
No, I didn't. I know you swim, but did you swim?
Yes.
Okay.
I got in, I swam, I went under. I had a great time swimming.
Yeah, sure. Okay. It's not like you're going to be swimming laps. It's a pretty small swim area on the side of the river.
Yeah.
You made a sandcastle with the boys and
a bunch of other kids.
Cadre of...
Yeah,
was it all one family or was it multiple families?
I think it was mostly one family. There was one kid, I think the first kid who showed up was not related to the like 4 other ones that trickled in. But yeah, Darius and I were building the sandcastle and the waves kept coming in. So we're like, okay, we gotta, it kept getting washed out. So we're like, let's push it back a couple feet and then let's build a wall in front of the sandcastle to protect it.
A breaker wall.
Yeah, we had a breaker wall and like a moat to drain out the water.
Wow.
It was great. It was very effective. Excellent engineering went into this.
There you go.
And so these other kids, are you guys building a sandcastle? And we're like, yeah, we are. You wanted to help us? So it was so great. They were like, we're going to keep building it. You can come back every day and we'll make it bigger. I was like, well, we don't live here, but thanks for your help. And
also a little bit of yard sailing.
Yeah, a little bit.
What, 1 or 2 yard sales like across the street from where we were staying?
There was one across the street.
Street.
And that was a very North Idaho yard sale. They had like kayaks and ammunition and a bunch of stuff. It was impressive. I almost bought a pan that is the same pan that my mom had growing up. If you look it up, it's the Spices of Life pattern. I believe it's a Corning.
I'll see if I can find a link.
I'm sure you can. If it's one of those ones on eBay that everyone's like, you can get $6,000 for this. I'm like, yeah, just like you can get $6,000 for your Beanie Babies. You can't.
Well, what else?
Just a great time. It's great to spend time with family.
We were downtown Coeur d'Alene as well. That was the other thing.
Mm-hmm.
Hanging out at the park,
Yep.
splash pad, library, shopping.
Oh my gosh, the kids and Fig Pickles.
Yeah, Fig Pickles.
It's a very cool toy store. If you haven't been there and you're downtown Coeur d'Alene, check out Fig Pickles. Like it's a cool toy store.
It is objectively cool.
It is also so overstimulating if you have little kids to keep track of, because just like everything is cool. But getting them out of there, oh my gosh.
Another example of like, I do not understand how parents have more than 2 kids, because a situation like that where you're trying to do zone defense is just insane.
Impossible.
You've got to be man to man.
Yeah. And it's cool because you're like, this place is cool. I do want you to like enjoy this and check it out and see all the fun things. And also, no, we're not going to buy any of that. So difficult truths to hold simultaneously for young children.
Darius got to have a birthday present though while we were there, which was nice.
Yeah, little extended birthday action.
He got a tape measure and a little stuffed animal German Shepherd who was already named.
Yeah,
I think.
had a name on the tag.
Came out of the box with a name, but Little Chief, and he carried Little Chief around him the entire weekend.
Yeah.
And so far to this day has been carrying him around everywhere.
The tape measure also is cooler than it sounds. We didn't, it wasn't just any tape measure. It was a dog, and it has like a bone in its mouth. The bone is the handle. It's the end of the tape measure, and you pull it out, and the tongue is the measuring tape.
I see. I haven't even looked at it very closely.
Oh
yet,
yeah,
so. It's
pretty cool. And it has little eyes on the side. The eye is a level and an angle finder.
I did look at the level part of it. I guess I didn't pay attention to the rest of the details.
And the ears are erasers. So if you're measuring something, you need to do a little pencil mark and erase it. The ears are erasers.
Like real erasers?
Apparently.
Huh.
That's what it's advertised as.
I need to pay closer attention.
It's a pretty cool tape measure. I put it on his Amazon wish list a while back because I could not handle them lugging around the Stanley or whatever it is.
Yeah.
Dinosaur.
Our actual tape measure.
Just like, it's like a 6-pound. I mean, like, it's a huge, they're always banging around and knocking stuff over with it. So I was like, I need him to have his own. So I'm very glad Julia got that for him.
It does make sense it was on the wish list.
Yes.
But even, I was like, wow, what a great present, because they really need to stop using our tape measure.
Yep, that was the idea behind it. So I'm glad she picked that one out from his list.
Accomplished. And also, I got some copies of my mom's college yearbook. With
Do you really want to talk about
photos of my bio dad?
Is this? I wonder if maybe this will make a bit more sense if you do an episode.
Yeah, you know what? Next episode, I think we've already committed. Next episode's going to be the adoption story.
It's going to be it.
But yeah, I have not seen a lot of pictures of my bio dad, and these pictures are unlike any other pictures I've ever seen of him. So
there you go.
Yeah. Fun little surprise. Did not know she was bringing that.
A little background info.
I feel like, okay, we did talk about this because she also gave me the actual physical copy of my birth certificate from her. And
we talked about
that
names
with the boys.
Yeah, but I don't think we talked about the whole adoption story.
Yeah, no. Well, no, we didn't. But I think that's what I'm thinking of.
Sure.
Because I was feeling like we talked about some aspect of it, and I think that was just it, was the names.
That was the aspect.
So now I have that birth certificate. So
Indeed.
Closing the loop on that part of the podcast, I guess.
Yep.
That was pretty much it. We cleaned up and we got out of there on time.
We are up to date.